Coming to you from a brand new location, Florence, Alabama. We are here. What's up? Welcome to Chatt It Up Sports. I am Greg Larnard. On tonight's show, the Vols. Yeah, it's about that time. It's Rocky Top time. It's football time in Tennessee as they take on Syracuse. We're going to get into that as part of our Core 4. Again, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, potential best game of the year coming up this weekend as well. And crazy courses you can take if you go to a specific SEC school. All that much more coming up next. Joseph, hit that theme music, baby. Oh, it feels so weird to be away from Chattanooga and away from the boys in the studio and the foundation and all that stuff. But alas, here we are at North Alabama. We're getting fierce out here in Florence, as they say, with the Lions. Again, what's up? It's Greg Larnard. Make sure that you keep up with us on social media at Chatt It Up Sports, wherever you get your podcasts at Chatt It Up Sports, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the good things. Make sure you find us on there. Again, big show. College football is officially back. And then next week we get NFL rolling into the building as well. It's an exciting time, especially being here in the South. And the crew that we got rolling with us tonight, back in the foundation, are the boys. Drew Rogers is here with us. Solo dolo today. What's up, Drew?
What's up, man? Yeah, it's weird. I'm in the captain's chair. It's kind of like stealing your grandfather's seat when he leaves the room. Chase, you're missed as he's in Louisville, away for business.
St. Louis.
St. Louis. St. Louis. Yeah, at a Cardinals
game.
One
of those L's. Yeah. One of those Cardinals.
Yeah, one of the Cardinals. Red team. Threw me off.
Red team, birds, flight. Is what it is.
And then the voice that you hear there is our producer tonight, Joseph Guthrie, behind the scenes, back again.
Oh wait. Yeah, I can't be putting horns up, dog.
Oh, yeah, you got to be this way. The horns can be that way, but maybe not this way.
Next year, I'll give it to him because we don't play them in the regular season.
But you very well may play them in the postseason, depending upon if Arch Manning comes back and what the Georgia Bulldogs look like next year as well. I didn't listen to the episode yet of the playoff prediction, but I did see Miggy having Georgia going pretty damn far in his prediction in the playoffs.
Yeah, I would love for that to happen. I told Malcolm, I was like, dude, I would love for your prediction to come true. I don't think it's going to come true, but I really would. I am very interested in how much faith he has in South Carolina. Good news. Their transfer running back from Utah State, who had 1,100 yards last year, is approved eligible, so he'll be able to play. That's big news. South Carolina fans are waiting on. They got that today, so that's good ups for his South Carolina prediction. But we'll see. Still got to see what the rest of the weapons are going to look like for Lenoris. I expect some big things from Nick Harbor, but the rest of the receiver room is going to have to match if they want to carry as far as Malcolm has them going.
Wow, a lot of you guys have a lot of faith in Alabama this year, huh? Dang. That's a bad omen for Kalen DeBoer's squad.
Yeah.
There's a lot coming back from last year, and I don't think Ty Simpson's, not to rehash, but I don't think Ty Simpson's going to have to be a world beater for Alabama to have success. So that's kind of where that prediction lies for me mostly.
Yeah, they're going to be a damn good team this year, program this year, and hopefully Kalen DeBoer, maybe, hopefully not, proves that he can kind of take over for Nick Saban. I know all of us here rooting for our teams, our respective teams. This is kind of different. Vols, Vandy, and then Georgia Bulldogs behind the scenes. So we're all kind of different here on the show tonight. But we are going to get into half of our Core 4. The Core 4 is back. The games that we're going to pick this week. We'll give you the first two that we're going to get into. We've got Tennessee and Syracuse coming up first, and then we're going to get into Ohio State versus Texas. I know we've spent some time talking about that matchup. A lot of the players within that team are those teams and those programs. But Drew, let's start with the Tennessee Vols, and they are 14-point favorites, as we were talking about off the air.
Yeah.
I was looking at Syracuse today, and I think the sports books have them at about 5.5 wins over under. They've lost a ton of guys. They went from having one of the most prolific passing offenses in the country last year with Kyle McCord to now, okay, Steve Angeli is in the mix, obviously from Notre Dame. They lost their top 2 wide receivers from last year, one to the draft, one to Penn State. They also lost a couple of things in terms of running backs and then on defense as well. So you guys, the way you were talking about it off the air, seem like you're kind of surprised. Like, hey, what does Vegas know that we don't know about this game and about this Syracuse team? But for me, it's like, man, they've lost so much, and the unknown is obviously a scary thing. So maybe Vegas is sort of just leaning with maybe a more known commodity, although it is Joey Aguilar who's sort of running the show for Tennessee, and that's a very unknown commodity.
For sure. Yeah, I think that the line definitely comes from what Syracuse lost. So that, I mean, I'll throw that out there. Syracuse is dead last in returning production to a team that finished 9-3 in the regular season last year. Fran Brown is one of my favorite personalities as a coach in college football. But, I mean, let's be honest. For Tennessee, it seems very, very strange to me that they would be a 14-point favorite against any Power 5 opponent at this time. We just don't know what this offense is going to look like at this time. I mean, we think the defense is going to be pretty good, and I think they will. I mean, I think with the level of talent that they have and the continuity that they've got across their roster, although they did lose James Pierce Jr., that is a big blow. But James Pierce Jr. didn't have a world beater season last year. I can see you. I mean, yeah, but the respect alone that he gathered from opposing offensive lines, offensive coordinators, when drawing up blocking schemes, I mean, that does matter. But it's very difficult for me to go into this game, especially a game on a neutral site. Now, if this was at Neyland, you got no problem. Have zero issue with Tennessee being a 14-point favorite because, I mean, like, hey, let's be honest about Syracuse. They're a good program, maybe even a program on the rise if they can string together some good recruiting and transfer classes back to back. But they wouldn't be ready to walk into Neyland, especially not with Steve Angeli. So I think Joseph had some thoughts about why the line is where it's at. I'm interested to hear it, man.
So looking at Syracuse's offense, they lost their 2 leading receivers, but they do have 2 other receivers that have proven production coming back from last year. And then they're also bringing in Jonte Cook, who played at Texas for a little while. He was a 5-star recruit, highly touted receiver. Played at Texas, disagreed, left, went to Washington, was there for basically a red eye, and then ended up at Syracuse. And he's been there for a little while now. So I think whatever was happening with him at Washington kind of got sorted out. So that makes me feel good as far as the receiver core goes. But the big problem is that they're starting 4 transfers on the offensive line. That could go. That's not necessarily a negative, but it's also not necessarily something that I think is looked at in the positive light. I do like Steve Angeli. He looked good in relief at Penn State last year.
He did.
So I think they'll be able to get proven production out of him. I know Jeff Nixon Jeff Nixon's the OC for Syracuse. What he was able to get out of Kyle McCord in just 1 year kind of gives me some hope.
Absolutely.
That he'll be able to do something with Steve Angeli, but I don't know if that's necessarily something you can just, hey, he did it once, he can guaranteed do it again. So I feel decent about that, but I think a lot of where this line comes from is the 4 transfers. Mm-hmm. Now, these are older guys, minus Cam Pringle from South Carolina. They're redshirt senior, redshirt junior, and then your redshirt senior left tackle who's been at Syracuse. So you've got some older guys playing at offensive line, which I think makes you feel better. But the thing about it is you're playing a Tennessee defense that returned 7 starters and was 8th in scoring defense last year. This is probably by far and away, even with that Syracuse team last year, probably the hardest defense you would play.
Yeah.
Because Clemson's defense wasn't quite what it had been in previous years. So I think that also contributes to this being a 2-touchdown favorite. I'm kind of with you. It's hard for me to imagine Tennessee with Joey Aguilar and so many questions about what they're going to be at offense without Dylan Sampson being a 14-point favorite over a Power 4 team.
I just don't know if they can, legitimately, and this is not going to be a dig at Tennessee by any means, I see it would be very hard in my mind if Tennessee does not hold Syracuse to 10 points or less for them to win by 14 or more.
Yeah.
That's kind of where, if I'm laying money on the Vols this week, if they can get to 31 points, then I would consider it. But if I don't know that they can get to 31 points, then no way. Yeah. I'm back in Syracuse every time.
Yeah, for me, 24 is the number to win this game. Like, I think if you can get to 20. Now, it also depends on, is Joey Aguilar, does he have a better deep ball than Nico? Because there were scoring opportunities for Nico last year with Tennessee that he just missed on deep balls. And I think Joey Aguilar might be a little bit better at that, but he also led FBS in interceptions last year. So that, while I may be a little bit higher on him because of that, I also have that in the back of my mind where I'm like, he led FBS in interceptions.
So basically what he's going to be is like Brett Favre.
I mean, it's like, hey, this is going for 60 yards or it's a punt. That's
exactly.
what this deep ball feels like.
And that's okay. That's okay. Because within this offense, I like the playmakers that they have. I know that they're young, and Josh Heupel talked about that on, Monday. I think he talked about it on Monday that, we can't have our young guys play young. They have to go out there and they have to play like veterans. They can't play young. They can't be making mistakes like that because they have a lot of young wide receivers. Chris Brazel's the one, that comes back who's the veteran guy, but obviously it's only his second year in the program. Mike Matthews obviously going to take a bigger role. I see Boo Carter's second on the depth chart that I see on our lads right now. So I don't know if he's going to be able to mix in and play any offense. But like you said, Joseph, like Nico was so inconsistent with his deep ball last year. And then the year before, Joe Milton talk about the definition of inconsistent with a deep ball. Either it's going to be a laser, it's going to be 20, yards too far, or whatever it may be. So I'm okay with just kind of letting Joey Aguilar be Joey Aguilar. If you're going to go out there and make a couple of deep passes that end up getting picked, like you said, on a third down, you need to be smart about it. Like, you're not going to do it, hopefully not in your own territory. Hopefully it's going towards their goal line. And like you said, it ends up being like a long punt. But I really don't want to see another Tennessee quarterback come in here and feel like they've got training wheels on, because it felt like they didn't trust Nico a lot of the times. Didn't feel like they trusted Joe. It really didn't seem like the only time that we've really, I feel like, seen the Josh Heupel prolific passing offense, and they were still kind of more of a run-first team, which we know Tennessee wants to be. The misnomer is that they are a high-flying, high-octane passing offense. They're not that, but they can create some big plays. Obviously, they like to go in a hurry. So let Joey Aguilar go out there and let him make some mistakes. Your defense, as we've talked about, should be good enough to hopefully hold up. This should be one of, if not the best defense that they've had in the Heupel era. So go out there and let Joey be Joey. I really don't want to see these little wide receiver screen passes, to the boundary, every other play, or, I don't know. I need to see something a little bit more like we saw with Hendon Hooker. And I hope that Joey Aguilar has that capability to do something like that. I'm not holding my breath for it because, again, I haven't really seen Joey play that much, but I hope that he is able to put Tennessee in a place where he can connect on some big plays. Because Heupel talked about it again on Monday that, like, all right, we have to be efficient on first and second down to get to manageable and third down. So to me, it sort of feels like it's going to be sort of the ho-hum offense until he sees if he can either trust or not trust Joey. But I'm hoping we can put our trust in Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, and I think it's also going to come down to how much Heupel, like what he sees that he can get out of the run game, is going to determine, I think, how much trust he has to put in Joey. Because you're starting, don't get me wrong, David Sanders Jr. is going to be a freak, dude. He's going to be a stud, but he's a freshman. He's a freshman 5-star, but he's still a freshman. You got 2 other starters from the transfer portal coming in on that offensive line. So, like, how much pressure is going to be on Joey? That's what I'm curious about. Because,
and then
like
you've got a redshirt freshman at center too.
Yeah.
That's a big position, especially with a new quarterback.
Yeah, and a quarterback that hasn't been in the system. So a quarterback that's just arrived in March, So that's what I'm curious about, is how much of your run game can you establish to alleviate pressure on Joey to make plays? Because if it gets to a point where if Syracuse kind of stuffs the run game and this comes out and Joey kind of has to sling it, then I'm getting a little bit nervous. If I'm a Tennessee fan,
absolutely,
I would feel nervous about, especially in his first game, live bullets, Like, this is the moment. No more takebacks. This isn't practice. How is he doing when it's like, hey, no, Joey, we can't run the ball, dude. Like, you got to go out and make some plays. So I'm curious how Tennessee handles that situation. Obviously, if they come out and they kind of establish the run and they can move the ball efficiently, maybe 3-4 yards a carry, then you kind of play the slow game. And Josh is probably like, all right, we're going to limit possessions for Syracuse. We're going to rely on our defense, and we're just going to kind of ease Joey in, get a good win first of the season, and start off strong, instead of the opposite being we can't run the ball and he gets thrown to the fire. So as far as picking this game goes, my gut says Tennessee, because if I'm looking at these two teams and I'm looking at the rosters, I'm with you, Drew. I love Fran Brown, and that's not even just for Georgia ties. Like, I love his attitude, how he coaches, what he wants this program to be. I'm looking for a team and a position group that I can trust, and I feel like what I can trust the most between these two teams is Tennessee's defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to make this really hard for Syracuse. I don't think it's going to be fun for Steve Angeli's first true start to go out and have to play against this Tennessee defense. Even though they won't have Jermod McCoy, so count that off as, I guess we'll go to 6 returning starters because Jermod McCoy's still out. I still like what Tennessee will be able to do on defense. So I'm going to lean and pick Tennessee. I think Syracuse could cover. I don't know how I feel about Tennessee winning by 14. I feel like this game's probably like in the 24-17, 24-14 range for Tennessee. But I'm gonna roll with the Vols to beat Syracuse.
Yeah. When it comes down to picking this game, I'm kind of with you. I just, as much as I don't know what Tennessee's going to be on offense, I damn sure don't know what Syracuse is going to be, and I don't know what they're going to look like, and I don't know who to trust there. Although, like, I've seen Steve Angeli in relief, I've never seen him with a team that's his. And when the same thing that you talked about with Joey Aguilar, like, hey man, it's time, you got to step up. We need you to throw the ball. Is Steve Angeli going to be ready for that when it's all on him and Syracuse is struggling against a stout Tennessee defensive line? I don't know. And for that reason, I'd probably just rather back the infrastructure here. I think Syracuse is probably going to struggle to score 13 to 17 points. And I'd rather have Tennessee. Like backing that horse, getting, around where you said 24 to 31 points. But honestly, I may be a Vanderbilt fan, but as a Vanderbilt fan, I don't hate Tennessee. I mean, I love when we beat them. But college football is better when Tennessee is better. And so for that reason, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Tennessee scores 45 points.
That would be ideal for sure. Something else that I wanted to note for you guys, because we've talked a lot about Syracuse's offense, but when you look to the defensive side, I think that's what a lot of people are overlooking here, because the offense was so prolific. It was so good in last year in 2024 with the 9-3 record. But Syracuse's defense was terrible last year. They ranked 96th nationally by allowing just under 30 points per game. Mm-hmm. And even that group lost a lot of top contributors, including the top 2 sack leaders, 2 of its 3 leading tacklers, and then a couple of players that recorded 7 of its 11 interceptions last year. So they're having to replace not only a lot on offense, but a lot on defense. And I think, again, coupled with what we just talked about offensively and the unknowns, there's a lot of unknowns on the defensive side. And I think that's kind of what leads to that 14-point spread. So, I mean, I'm taking the Vols in this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if it is more than 14. Again, we don't know what Joey Aguilar is. We don't know what the running game is going to be. The offensive line, so like that's where things get a little sticky for me. But I just don't think Syracuse is going to be that good this coming season. And especially in game 1, they might figure it out. You talk about Fran Brown and him figuring it out over the course of the year. And you're right. I love his fire and his desire and the way that he coaches and everything along those lines. But I'm going to take the Vols in this one, and I'm hoping that Joey comes out and proves, and it's a nice, easy game. The running game gets going and makes it a little more easy for him. And I was listening to what Josh Heupel had to say on Monday again, and he talked about Boo Carter and that he will play, because he was asked about that. He will play in this game. Again, it remains to be seen where he's going to play. We assume that he'll continue to be a starter on defense. Mm-hmm. But I'm really interested to see if he gets some time offensively. I would love to see him get some time offensively and kind of have that, not exactly the Travis Hunter effect, but something similar to that.
Something that we had seen before Travis Hunter, where it's like,
Yes.
yeah, you have a player that can kind of do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you see him on a few snaps, not to Travis's level, but yeah. And I think the Syracuse team, if this game was like the 8th game or the 9th game of the season, I could see us probably having a different approach. But I liked what you said there, Greg, about how with it being especially the first game of the season,
right?
Like we don't know how well Syracuse is going to gel with Steve Angeli and these receivers, and that's tough when you're playing a proven defense. So I think we're all on the balls, boys.
Yeah.
We are on the Vols. And last note on them before we move over to our other game. I was reading about this on Monday as well. In the Football Power Index, Tennessee actually comes in as the number 8 ranked team in that in college football right now going into the season. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they're 4th in the SEC behind number 1 Texas, number 2 Georgia, number 3 Alabama, obviously 1, 2, 3 there. And then other programs ahead of UT in order from highest to lowest ranked are Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, and Oregon. So Tennessee may be ranked a little bit further down in the coaches poll and the what's the other one?
AP poll.
AP poll. There we go. Thank you for my brain fart. Helped me with the brain fart there. But yeah, Football Power Index, take it with, with a grain of salt or however you want to take it, but just something to kind of help the Tennessee Vols fans get excited a little bit more maybe about this season, that maybe things are going to be a little bit better than we expect. I mean,
really quick, Greg,
Yeah.
If Nico doesn't leave, we did this with Arch. What would Texas be ranked without Archman and QB? If Nico doesn't leave, what is Tennessee ranked right now? Going into week 1, they're taking on Syracuse. All their other pieces are there. Nothing's changed. It's Nico Iamaleava and the same team. What are they ranked right now?
I would say they'd be ranked probably anywhere from 10 to 13, 15, something like that. I would say right around the top 10, because you think about it, they were a playoff team last year. Mm-hmm. Nico didn't actually play that bad in that game. It was just Will Howard cutting up the defense. And Nico was kind of running around for his life. The offensive line was terrible for him last year, and obviously a tough game, but he showed a lot of poise, a lot of heart in that game, and his running ability obviously is always a threat. So I would personally say right around the top 10, if not inside or just outside the top 10 would be my estimation.
That's where I had him. I would have him inside the top 10. I wouldn't have a problem putting them inside the top 10 for the simple fact that their defense is the same unit that it is right now. And like, if you're going to take a bet on,
I would definitely have them over Miami. You're probably right. I think maybe like right at 10.
I'd have them over Arizona State with zero hesitation. I mean, it wouldn't. Well, I wouldn't even blink twice. But yeah, just an interesting food for thought exercise, because I feel like me and Joseph are putting a lot of stock into the fact that the quarterback is Aguilar. I mean, as we should, but when it comes down to it, if they walk in here with Nico, they're 21-point favorites undoubtedly.
I don't know. I think I don't know if I'd put myself in the same camp as that, because I feel like a lot of their production last. I'm more worried about them losing Dylan Sampson than losing Nico last year, because like looking at Nico from a quarterback's perspective, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Nico wasn't. I don't think he was the make or break factor for Tennessee last year. Like, yeah, if he gets cleaned up with some deep balls, that's probably 24, 25 touchdowns, which is a decent difference. But I don't know. I feel like losing Dylan Sampson was much larger of a loss than the Tennessee team that we lost last year, because the defense was really stout, and that team kind of moved as Dylan Sampson moved. If they still had Nico losing what they'd lost, I'd probably have them in like the 15 to 17 range, because I would just kind of have to see it. Like, I would have to see the improvement from Nico before I was like, okay, let me buy into this now. Because I think Dylan Sampson was just such a huge factor in their production last year. So they're just a little less bullish. But that's also just because Dylan Sampson was a freak.
Yeah.
He's just a freak, dude.
Agreed. He's not bad. He's all right. He's no Jalen Wright, but
hang on now.
Oh gosh.
I love Jalen Wright.
We're going to get you back to the episode in 1 second, but first, we're going to give you a little list of sponsors. First, we are brought to you by Barra's Custom Cabinet Refinishing, a local Chattanooga staple for the past 24 years. Barra's Cabinet Refinishing is going to bring you the best custom cabinetry in the Scenic City. From custom cabinet refinishings that breathe new life into existing cabinetry to cabinet refacing and modification that transform and optimize the space in the home. Boys, I can tell you, I need that with a little one around. The people over at Barra's simply deliver the goods. So, for a winning team that's always going to bring you the best, trust Barra's, an official sponsor of Chatt It Up Sports. Head over to the website, barrascabinetrefinishing.com, to get your free estimate today. And if you tell them Chatt It Up Sports sent you get 5% off.
All right, let's move over to our other game that we're going to talk about here in the Core 4, Ohio State and Texas. It's a matchup from the semifinals in the Cotton Bowl we saw last year, where Ohio State doubled up Texas 28-14. It was a little bit closer than that. Obviously, Jack Sawyer with the big, fumble recovery, took it 80-plus yards, whatever it was. On Quinn Ewers. Oof, some spit went down the wrong pipe there. So this is going to be a good game. Obviously, this could be potentially one of the best games on the college football slate. We've got two new starting quarterbacks, Arch Manning, Julian Sayin on the Ohio State side. I know we've talked about this game. Joseph, I'll start with you on this one. What are your thoughts going into this one, number 1 versus number 3?
Oh, man. Is it just me, or does it feel like Sark is kind of – I guess James Franklin would be the number 1 for, taking Ryan Day's place in the – he's never going to win the big one until he wins the big one. But Sark's probably, right there. Because
Brian Kelly probably too.
Yeah. Those three are probably the next in line for you've got to prove it now. But at least Brian Kelly's made a national championship game. Yeah. I know they got blown out, but he does have that. So I feel like a lot of pressures here is on Sark and on Texas, even though it's only, year 4. People are expecting Texas to do big things because they invest big, they recruit big, and you're going on what should be 3 years now making the playoff. So if I look at this game, Texas bring back most of their staff. Yeah, they're replacing a lot on offense. Arch is a first-year starter, but they've got 2 key pieces coming back on defense in Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill Jr., who are going to be 2 of the better defensive players in the nation. They're replacing their 2 interior defensive linemen with transfers, but those are kind of veteran guys. They're older guys. They're not just freshmen that they pulled. So I worry about how well Ohio State's going to be able to run the ball, because losing Travion Henderson, losing Quinshon Judkins, it's not fun. Those are really good running backs. So I worry about, obviously, people are going to think about Jeremiah Smith in this game for Ohio State. But last year, he only had 1 catch for 3 yards in that game. Now, don't get me wrong. Carnell Tate filled in for that missing production. Carnell Tate had 90 yards on 8 receptions and probably should have had a touchdown. But if Texas can find a way to bracket Jeremiah Smith, keep him in check, I worry about how much time and how comfortable Julian Sayin's going to be. Because while it's great to have Brandon Ennis and Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, if Julian Sayin's running for his life back there, they're not going to do a whole lot to help you. And if you establish quickly on that you can't run the ball on Texas, Texas can kind of just sit back and be like, well, we know you're not going to hand it off, so Julian Sayin's going to have to beat us. I'm kind of skeptical about that. Being the first game, and Ohio State's kind of playing with house money. They really only have one. Obviously, you can't fall off a cliff like Florida State did. But their goal this year is, you need to beat Michigan. If you lose to Texas, it's not the end of the world. You went all in last year. You got it done. Ryan Day's got his ring. He's got his trophy. Sark, it's your turn now. Flipping to the other side, Arch is first year starting on the road at Ohio State. You've got one of the best safeties in the nation. You've got the best safety in the nation, and Caleb Downs on the other side. I don't know how many points Sark's going to be able to just dream up for this team, because last year, having Matthew Golden, having Gunnar Helm, those kind of like go-to guys, if it's not Ryan Wingo, who is it for Texas that steps up and says, hey, Arch, I'm your go-to guy. You can hit me on a 3rd and 8, and we'll get you a first down. Because obviously Ryan Wingo is going to draw most of the attention. And Ohio State brings back some corners in Davis Sigmanosin and Jermaine Matthews that played in 15 games and 12 games respectively last year. So if you're Texas and you can't come out and run the ball, and this pressure gets put on Arch, who's behind Ryan Wingo that's going to establish themselves as the like go-to guy? That's where I'm concerned for Texas when it comes to scoring points in this game. But God, I flip back and forth on this so much. When it comes to picking this game, similar to the Syracuse game, I like to find a position group that I can trust, and I feel a little bit better about Texas's defense, and I feel a little bit better about Texas's ability to run the ball, because Texas didn't go out and attack the transfer portal for their offensive line. Yeah, they lost Kelvin Banks Jr., and that's a big loss, but the 5 guys they got starting, sophomore, senior, redshirt junior, redshirt sophomore. So it's not a bunch of young, highly touted, talented kids that you're rolling out there. These are guys that have been in the program. They're older, a little bit more established. I kind of trust Texas's ability to run the ball a little bit more. And adding on top of that, they're also getting CJ Baxter back, which I think will be huge for them, because he was getting ready to have a breakout year last year. He was really good in 2023, and that's running behind Jonathan Brooks, who was a 1,200-yard back almost. And CJ Baxter's a big body. So that's going to be somebody that late in the game, it's not going to be fun to tackle him. I think Texas will kind of be able to lean on Ohio State a little bit. I don't think they'll run away with this game. I don't think either one of these teams will run away with this game. I think there's just too much talent on the field. But I like Texas. And I think I'm going to roll with Texas. Something kind of like 20, maybe like 27-24.
Yeah.
I'm curious what quarterback makes the pivotal mistake in this game. Like, who tries to do too much? Who tries to extend a play? Who tries to fit a ball in a window? And if I have to think about somebody that might be more, hey, I need to fit this ball in because of who they have at receiver, I feel like that guy's going to be Julian Sayin, because he's like, hey, Jeremiah's down there somewhere, and you get a late game pick. So I'm rolling with Texas. I don't feel great about it, but when I tried to convince myself to roll with Ohio State, I didn't feel great about it either. So yeah, I'm rolling with Texas because I think Sark needs this game, and there's just a lot of turnover at Ohio State. Like, how good is Brian Hartline going to be at calling plays? Matt Patricia's been all around. He's been in the NFL, but like, it's his first time being a DC at a program like Ohio State. So how good is he going to be? I just feel a little bit better about Texas. So I think I'm going to roll with the Horns to get it done in like a 27-24 type game.
I will say, I think you covered every part that I was going to touch there.
Sorry.
So I'm not going to retread old ground. I will say, what were you say?
I said, well, to be thorough. Way to be thorough, Joseph. Yeah.
Well, I just like the way y'all were talking about, y'all dove into the Tennessee Syracuse game was kind of how I dove into this game. Yeah. I was like, hey, I'm really interested in who has an angle here and what angle is. Sorry, Drew, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Definitely. I think what makes it so interesting and my really only point on this is it's week 1. Like, these two teams are not going to be the two teams that we see in week 14. And I think that is what is so interesting about this game. Like, this is basically like your kindergartner showing up on the first day of kindergarten. They can't write their letters. You know, they can make like an A and maybe an E that you taught them. And I mean, by the time that you pick them up, like hopefully they'll be able to do capital letters. And that's kind of what I like that you said, that whatever quarterback, makes the pivotal mistake. I do that all the time, man. The V and the T, they just get confused. So for that reason, and because I don't know why I did this, but I said Ohio State was going to win this game before. I'm going to stick with Ohio State. I think these two teams, there's no way that anybody gets more than the 10-point lead in this game. I just think it's going to be, unless Arch is really that dude. I think that's the one scenario that I could see where Texas could actually run away with this. Is Arch that dude? And if he is, it just opens everything up. Like, is Arch that dude to where his receivers can be subpar, even if Ryan Wingo isn't taking a step up, and he can just kind of just hand them the ball and they just run upfield? If that's the case, then yeah, Texas could easily roll in this game. But if not, then I do think it comes down to the very end. I'll give Ohio State the slight nod I'll give them 28-27. I think it'll be a 1-point game.
That'd be an incredible finish.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. But Joseph, you made a lot of really good points. And I believe Arch is that dude, but as you alluded to, Caleb Downs is still in that backfield, and there's still some good pieces out there for Ohio State. And the offense still has Jeremiah Smith. They still have Carnell Tate. I know they're sort of breaking in some, decently new running backs and things like that, sort of like Tennessee is. But Arch is the X factor for me. He not only can throw the football, he can run the football as well. Making plays with his legs going to be big in this game, especially on third downs. Texas is going to find a way to win. I do believe it's going to be close. I don't see either one of these teams truly running away with it. I think they're both very good. So I'm going to go with Texas in a close one. But yeah, still a lot of really good pieces on both sides. Should be a really fun game. And it was the first pick overall of our best game of the year draft. So for a reason. So it should be a good one here in week number 1.
We'll get you back in a second. We have a brand new sponsor here on Chatt It Up Sports. Steel City brand and the perfect tee. My gosh, guys, these are wonderful. We got these new custom hats. I'm going to bring this bad boy in. This thing is sweet. I'm actually not going to lie to you. From the picture, I was like, man, it looks pretty nice. It's going to be like a jean jacket, a little Canadian tuxedo, if you will. It is not, my friends. This thing is amazing. Walked around in this bad boy with my beautiful little girl today. So fantastic stuff. I'll tell you what, Steel City is all around the country. It ain't just there in Pittsburgh. If you want vintage sports tees to iconic Berg designs, I'll tell you what, these are the guys to get to. And check out the website at steelcitybrand.com. Type in promo code ChatItUp15 to get 15% off. And we'll take care of you. Great tees, I'm telling you, all around. Like if you want the Steel City logos, perfect tees, or just simple all-around wears for the summer, I'm telling you, this is the best. Cool, off-kilter colors, the best. SteelCityBrand.com. Chat it up 15% off.
Undoubtedly. I think anybody that watches the game who wakes up, I know what I'll be doing. I'm going to wake up, make a little breakfast, probably frozen Eggo waffles and a Jimmy Dean bowl, as I do.
Oh.
And there will be a Michelob Ultra included that early.
Attaboy.
Just getting ready for the game. So I think a lot of Americans will be doing that as they gather around the television for this, the premiere really of college football this season.
That is breakfast of champions right there, brother.
Isn't it?
Like,
I had some
what a way to start a college football Saturday.
I'll probably add some Yoplait strawberry yogurt in there too.
Dude, why not?
Yeah.
Don't deny yourself.
I
Just
won't.
whatever you want to add. But no, I feel you. I walked out the house this morning to head to work, man, and it's like the first thing I thought about was like I can smell football in the air. Like I know that's weird. Some people are like, hey, I can smell the rain, I can feel the rain. I got an arthritis knee, I got a bad ankle. Like that was me in my joints, and the way it smelled and felt outside, I was like, oh, it's football season.
It's funny because I was at the Tour Championship this weekend. At the Tour Championship, and I felt it for the first time. That fall chill where it's already been hot for a couple months, and you feel it for the first time where the weather's coming back down, like you're on the decline now. Yep. I felt it, and I was like, this. Well, I know it's going to get.
I was about to say we got to make it through false fall, brother.
I know, but you feel it, and you're like, oh my goodness, the SEC is on all day today. Like I don't have anything else to do. This is all I'm going to do.
Clear my Saturday. I'm doing nothing but watching football.
And it's Lee Corso's final college game day.
Listen, man, I'm trying not to listen. I'm trying not to cry. Okay.
You guys are good Southern boys. Tell me a little bit about what Lee Corso has meant to you guys in your lives watching college football and growing up with him as part of that program. Because obviously somebody from the North, I didn't really start watching College Game Day until I moved down to the South. So talk to me a little bit about him. Show me a little, give me a little respect for Lee Corso.
Sure, you want to go?
Yeah, Lee Corso, I mean, as a fan, Lee Corso and me have never had anything to do with each other because Lee Corso has never put on the Vanderbilt Commodore headgear. But Lee Corso was, as a child, especially as a child, because that's when he was still in his prime. And I want to respect that he gave it a try for as long as he did. But Lee Corso, as a child, watching him put that headgear on, and seeing every week, just knowing consistently that he was going to be at the biggest game of the year and that he was going to probably fake the crowd out and probably throw on the opposite headgear of the speech he just gave, which is what McAfee does super effectively right now. I mean, it's something I'm gonna always cherish. I may think about that when I'm 50. Like I'll probably think of when Lee Corso's, well and truly gone. Like I don't want him to be, but that's kind of how I see it going.
Sorry. You're good, dude. You're good.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a good end to that.
You're good. I think us and the viewers know what you were trying to say with your sentiment as I'm losing my chair here. But no, man, I saw Lee Corso more than I saw some of my own relatives.
Yeah.
Like every Saturday morning you wake up and there's just this coach and he's got all this energy, man. And he's just, at one point he looked at Uga and said, "That dog is ugly." And that hurt. That hurt me, dog. But I forgave him. I did, because he's just the best, man. He is.
Is there a more quotable line than "not so fast, my friend"?
Oh,
not in all of college football.
I mean,
I don't think so, at least.
No, it's such a great one-liner. And then what's the one he said where he's like not so fast, midget, or something like that, and he's talking to a little kid. Like, dude, he's had so many great ones, so many fantastic one-liners. He is College Game Day, dude.
Yeah,
he's been there since it started. Him and Kirk and Chris, like, it's not. And I'm sorry, I said it. I said it was more on the headgear. Like, it's not just the headgear; it's the energy and the passion that he brought to College Game Day every single week. Yeah, dude, and that's a huge. The headgear's a huge part of it, because it was the opening of the gates for your college football. Like, hey, the headgear's on, and we're transitioning, and you see the field, and it's like 5 minutes to kick off. Like every Saturday, it was headgear, ball, and then you just watch for 12 hours. Like, it's an iconic part. I mean, it's like a routine almost. Like, he was probably the equivalent to some people's pastor. Like, they see him on Saturday morning,
the gospel of football,
just preaching the gospel of football. Like, he's just a legend, man. He's iconic.
He'll be missed.
When you are a central piece of something like College Game Day that goes on and it becomes such a big part of people's lives, like the Washington State flag, the old crimson that they fly every year, like that makes me think of traditions like that, where they're like, hey, we haven't missed a game day, or this flag hasn't missed a game day in 236 something appearances or more than that. But it's just something you get so accustomed to. He's a part of your week every year for 6 months, and you just love him, man. You just love him. And it's sad to see him go, because it's not the end of College Game Day, but it's the end of an era. It's the closing of a chapter for College Game Day.
For sure.
With Lee Corso heading out.
But I think it's good, because with all respect to Corso, like, it's been time for a while. Like, it's been one of those things where he's been on a limited schedule, and they've kind of been, I'm sure that he wants to continue to do it.
Yeah.
And but he just, he can't live up to the demands anymore. and that's fine. He, I don't know exactly how old he is. I'm going to guess he's probably tapping on 90 if he's not over it.
I think
But
it was,
I'll look it up.
But he is. It's one of those things
He
where
is 90.
The show is in a great place though. Like they have McAfee, they have Nick Saban, they still have Herb Street, they still have Desmond Howard, they still have Reese Davis, and it is truly sending him off the best way that they can. You know that the fans are going to lose their mind when he puts on the last headgear. Yeah. Everybody, I mean, there'll be tears all around the nation watching that, and then he'll truly be. I mean, he'll be immortal after that.
He will be. Yeah. If you had to guess, and we're almost as far away from this game as you can be, who do you think his headgear pick's going to be? Because I know, like in my head, I know. I don't know, but I have a strong feeling that I about who he's going to pick, and I don't think it's who he actually thinks is going to win the game. I think it's College Game Day coming full circle.
Yeah,
because the first headgear he ever put on was Brutus. So he's got to end it with Brutus. He's got to put the Buckeye head on, dude. He has to pick, even if he doesn't think Ohio State's going to win. It just feels like it'll be College Game Day coming full circle if he ends the last show picking Ohio State and putting the Brutus headgear on.
I'd say that you've pretty good odds with that. I'm sure you can bet on that somewhere. I
would somebody's
for sure.
If somebody's putting out odds for that.
Yeah.
FanDuel, hey, let us know.
Hey. A 5-minute tribute to the course meister, and I think we got one more thing on the schedule, gentlemen.
We sure do. Last thing I wanted to kind of get into with you guys was something interesting I saw on Instagram the other day, and it's about SEC classes that you can take at these SEC schools that are a bit, shall we call it, unique and different that maybe you don't see at every other school. So I wanted to kind of go around the room, and I don't know if we need to name all of them. I'm sure you've seen the post at this point, but there's a bunch of different classes that you can take at various SEC schools, and some of them are pretty freaking funny. So, Drew, I want you to start with yours. I want you to tell me a little bit about the one you picked and why you picked it and what intrigued you about it. Oh, there we go, Joseph. Well, way to pull it up.
Beautiful. So about halfway down there in the middle on the left, you'll see emergency disaster communication, humanity in a zombie apocalypse. I mean, I don't really need to say anything more about, why that's unique, but, they do have a lovely flyer here. I've got it pulled up. Avoidance, termination, disposal. Those are our 3 key points in this course that we're going to learn. Purpose of this course is to develop an applied humanistic understanding of communication and life skills for high-stress situations. So it's not just your zombie apocalypse. I mean, I guess probably that is the catchy name, and it probably will get a lot more students to take the course than if it didn't have a zombie apocalypse in it. Mm-hmm. But the main point of the course is to analyze a zombie apocalypse and apply it to, non-zombie apocalypse situations. So if you have a high-stress situation at work, with your family, you use the zombie apocalypse as kind of like this gateway to managing stress and communicating well, which is COM 316. So it has a catchy name, but I feel like it is a little more grounded in reality than the zombie apocalypse survival that it would lead itself to.
How many times do you think Zombieland gets quoted in that course? Because, I mean, we have rules for survival. Double tap. That's like... It's got to be. I bet that professor's sick of that movie, or they're like incredibly in love.
Fanatic, yeah. I bet like the professor saw it and he's like, "This is my life's work now." Yeah, probably.
Yeah, this is. I'm going to turn this movie into my life's work.
Yeah, he was probably a normal communication. She was probably a normal comm professor and saw that movie and was like, "Boom! I'll just name my course this. I'll rework the whole thing around there, and we'll go for it." And they are in Kentucky, so you never know what's going down there, dog. I mean, I used to. There was a period in my life not too long ago that I frequented a little town in Kentucky, and there were some odd folks out there in the hills.
The bluegrass, bro.
I can imagine. I've never been to Kentucky.
It's a beautiful state in certain parts.
It's so pretty. Yeah, if you've never been to the mountains, I would recommend everybody just go there. Just drive through it. Like it's gorgeous. But yeah, there's some people out there. There were
some interesting cats out there for sure.
About what I can say. Yeah.
Greg, you wanna take yours, or you want me to go second?
Man, I mean, I'm just looking over all of these courses. Like, there's so many good ones that I just like would love to dive into. Like, I just want to throw just one off the top. That's not going to be my pick, but just the Texas A&M. What is it? Barbecuing, Texas barbecue.
Texas barbecue.
Yeah,
I would take a course on Texas barbecue.
Yeah,
that's absolutely. What I'm saying, like, that is such a life skill. Like.
Yeah,
I don't have a smoker. I've never smoked brisket. My name's not Chase Green. I don't have the big old smoker on the deck or anything along those lines. Like, it just seems really cool. And again, all societal stereotypes aside, like, men are usually more so working on the grill. And we are living in a more progressive society. So, like, women learning how to smoke meats and work on the grill and do those things, like, that is a useful skill to have. And you must eat incredible for the entire semester. So to me, like, this one would be one that I would absolutely personally want to take myself.
Yep.
But the one that, like, has just got to be, like, so interesting to me. Oh my gosh. Like, I know why this is a course, because she is so impactful in the world and in society.
And
Taylor Swift and the arts in Florida, like, tell me you've made it without telling me you've made it. That they are literally creating and curating a course about you, your life, your evergreen song lyrics that you write, the way that you do your tours, you market yourself, things like that. Like, that's just the epitome of, like, damn, he made it. If they've got a course about me in Florida.
Immortalized. Like, what? Okay. Quick side note. What do you think the ratio in that course is?
Oh my God. It's got to be
like 97, 98%.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Yes. Greg, really quick. Sorry to I don't want to cut you off there, but am I to understand that you've never smoked a brisket, or you've never had brisket before?
I've never actually myself smoked a brisket.
Okay. Yeah. Thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness.
No. Dude, I love brisket. Don't get it twisted. I love me some barbecue, but I've never had the opportunity to do it because I don't have a smoker or anything along those.
Yeah, it's fair.
We was about to set off 5-alarm fire.
I know.
We was calling 911, calling the brisket police. Like,
yeah, hey, get it down to Florence, Alabama, real quick. You got to go scoop up some smoked brisket out there.
I will say, you brought up the Taylor Swift one. I will say that, the probably one of the biggest podcasts ever released. Her on
the biggest.
New Heights. Yeah, New Heights. God, I wanted to say Uptown Heights for some reason. I'm like, that's not right. And I just got stuck. New Heights really gave me, like, a different perspective on her. Because I also didn't know that, like, the Eras Tour was, like, 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she would play, like, 3 shows in a row. And they were all, like, 4 hours long.
I think a lot of people had a different reaction to Taylor Swift on that podcast. Like, I think she came off as hardworking, because the what football fans know about her is she's annoying on TV and she destroys the environment by using her private plane so much. I mean, that's what they tell us.
That's what they. Yeah, if
you're us, like, if you're this demographic, like, social media is feeding you that content, so you hate on it, you get the engagement. But yeah, I think her podcast, not to get off topic, but her podcast interview, I think, changed a lot of people's opinions on her.
Dude, not even just football fans, but, like, some of the comments on that were just, like, fans of hers that were like, hey, this is the most unedited we've ever gotten of her. I'm like, damn, dude, that's wild. But yeah, so was that your actual pick, Greg, or was that one you just wanted to highlight?
I mean, I'll take it. I mean, there's so many good ones on here. I could go so many different ways, but I just thought, man, if you're Taylor, and I don't even like Taylor Swift, in terms of, I'm sure she's a nice person, but I don't like her. Her music's not for me. It's not.
Dude, that's totally,
that's not me. She's very talented, the whole thing, but it's not me. But to me, that one really stood out, just because, like, if you are that big that they're creating a course on you, and you're not like a president, you're not like some sort of, again, it's just the society we live in nowadays, that we are highlighting these music artists that are so impactful on the world of social media and music and arts and all of those things. Like what she does, like you guys were just talking about on the podcast. I didn't hear it, but I can only imagine just how brilliant she is. And I know how good of a lyricist she is. And the fact that you've got a course basically kind of dissecting everything that you've done in your career and how well you've done it. I mean, that just tells me you've made it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does for sure. Especially when one of these is, just a whole genre is country music, which, I mean, that's the most Nashville thing you could think of, is to offer a course on country music. So
yeah.
I'm curious about this history of the devil for South Carolina. Is that just like, I would imagine you walk into that course and they're like, this is the history of the devil. And then they hit the slide and it's just an orange tiger paw. and they're just like, this is Satan. They're just like,
second slide is Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, third slide is
no, the first slide should probably be Deshaun Watson. Let's be honest. Could be Deshaun Watson.
That would be the most SEC right. Like that would be the
double
most
meeting for Deshaun. I guess.
Like that's the most down south football thing. And I'm sure, I guarantee you that if they give reports in that, somebody's done one on Clemson. Somebody at South Carolina is like, this is my report on the devil. Here's Dabo Sweeney. Like, and they just rolled with it, dude. Because it's, I
wonder if they handle that because, it's a public university. Sorry, I don't want to get too far into this, but I wonder if they handle it more as a religious course or more as a historical course. Because as far as the devil concerns, he's a purely religious figure, but he also has historical significance across so many different religions.
So it's according to, and again, shout out Texas Football Life and SEC Unfiltered for the graphic on Instagram. The article itself comes from Longhorns Wire. According to the description on Longhorns Wire, it says a survey of beliefs and practices associated with the demonic and the devil from 500 BCE to the 20th century.
So they probably just look at a bunch of different versions of the devil. That would make sense to me.
Well, based on the description, it sounds like it's a course about Satanism.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, well, just beliefs and practices associated. I don't know how well they'd go over in the Deep South. Like, hey, what courses are you taking? Well, history of the devil, mama.
Yeah.
What do you?
I think
they offer it. They've continued to have it. I mean, it's got to do okay.
What?
It's just for religious purposes.
What major do you think that falls under for?
It's got to be some sort of religious.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure not many people are going to be held in suspense on what Joseph is about to pick here. So before he gets there, there was this thing that went viral a few years ago I think it was quite a few years ago, about Zion Williamson's course load at Duke. Have you seen this?
No, but I can only imagine.
So Zion Williamson's courses while he was at Duke, his second semester there, history of hip hop, the theater today, copy of Writing 101, the Disney version, and sexual pleasures of the modern world.
Shut up.
A 12-hour course load at Duke, one of the most prestigious academic institutions in America.
Listen, man, it's the Cardell Jones tweet all over again, dude. I'm not here to do school. I'm here to play football. Like that, it's Cardell Jones. That, like, they know why Zion Williamson's a dude. They know he's only going to be there for like 6 months. Like they know. They're literally just giving him enough to where he's eligible to get on the basketball court. Like. Oh gosh, what a course load, man. So I'm not going to leave you in suspense. I don't know how I could go anywhere else other than Waffle House geography. I mean, just a staple in Southern culture, man. The bright yellow and black lettering. The description says the class uses students' memories, which I think is funny that they threw out the word memories, because I feel like most college students' trips to Waffle House are in a state where you can't remember what you're doing.
But before then, like when you ate there with your family, you probably like, hey, this is cool.
How many of those family trips to Waffle House are really like memory worthy? Versus like, hey man, we got smashed, ended up at Waffle House at 3 a.m.
You know, that is funny because I'm not going to admit to have done that, but I've
know we've all done it, dude. We've all done it. If you went to college south of Kentucky, and there's anywhere reasonably walking distance,
right,
there is a Waffle House that you can make it to without driving.
Yeah. I'm going to tell this story real quick.
Sorry,
Waffle
Greg.
House.
I don't mean to, but Waffle, like, I don't know if Waffle House.
No, that was the thing. Like, I was just gonna say, like, I never went to Waffle House growing up because it wasn't a thing in the Northeast. I didn't go to Waffle House until I moved to Louisiana.
That's too bad.
And I ended up there.
You missed out on
a couple of times.
You missed out on a lot of like 2,500 calorie meals, but
for like $7.
Yes. Waffle House holds some special significance to me. So I have a friend that lives in Texas now. And every Christmas since we were 16, we go to Waffle House on Christmas night, and we sit there and we eat and we talk, and then we leave like a $50 tip for the waitress, and it's one of my favorite traditions. And of course we can't do it anymore because he lives in Texas, and that's probably the most pure thing that's ever been done at a Waffle House.
That is by far the most pure thing that's ever been done at the Waffle House.
There's no question.
I mean, we're talking about an establishment where if your waiter or waitress isn't missing a few teeth, you're sketched out.
Like, why are you here?
Like, yeah,
what's wrong with you mentally?
Like,
you got out of the psych ward, didn't you?
Yeah. You got something going on up here. Don't you? Like, I mean, at any moment a fight could break out, but you still go. You still go because it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's just part of the culture.
It is,
especially like
it really is.
It's
just being somebody from the north, like this is part of the culture down here.
It's deeply woven into Southern culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
To eat at Waffle House. So,
does it say like specifically on there? Like
it says the class uses students' memories and associations of going to the Waffle House, which I don't like how they put the.
Yeah.
It tells me whoever wrote this. It's just going to Waffle House.
Right.
To take a deeper look at the fixture in Georgia's culinary landscape, brother, that is
getting way overthinking it, aren't we?
Not a lot of culinary innovation at the Waffle House.
Boy.
Using it to learn about how geographers study the world. Brother, if you're at a Waffle House, you've been studying the bottom of a bottle. Or it's like dark out.
Or maybe you're working third shift. And
you could be.
Something to eat on your way home.
Don't get me wrong. I make wholesome trips to Waffle House now. It's just fun to make jokes about how it's like, hey, I got most of my memories of Waffle.
I actually went on a date to Waffle House one time when I was living in Lafayette.
Really?
That's so romantic. I can't even.
How'd it go? It was fantastic. She was the one who wanted to go there, and in all honesty, one of the most purely beautiful women I've ever been on a date with. So that was even more surprising.
God.
How did you get so lucky?
Yeah,
where is this girl?
Hang on now.
I know. We fumbled that one away. That's a story for
fumbled the waffle, man.
Yeah.
Fumbled the waffle. But it also says that discussions will include Waffle House as a third place or somewhere outside of home or work where people gather and connect. And why do people become attached to certain places? How they define us? Why are Waffle Houses built where they are? And the intersection of place and power. I don't know what they mean by place and power, but Waffle House definitely holds a lot of power and is on a lot of places because there's numerous towns where there's a Waffle House within like 3 miles of another Waffle House.
Yeah. Because I know, I mean,
they just know.
Yeah.
They know they don't have a lot of room.
Yeah.
It's not a very big space.
They also know that it's kind of like lowest common denominator food. Like, yes. So like you said, if you're, close to blackout drunk and walking somewhere, like, yeah, you want to go get some Waffle House. Like that sounds really good. But also, like I used to go to Waffle House after church with my grandparents, and I had a great time. It was.
Are you the most wholesome Waffle House visitor ever?
That's real.
I think you are.
Yeah, you'd think that, and then
there's just as many bad ones as there are good ones. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. They even each other out a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Perfect balance.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Well, I thought this was just something fun to do. Joseph, were you good on the Waffle House in Georgia?
Yeah. Sorry, you got me wanting a chocolate chip waffle and an all-star special now. So
man, I know I'm hungry. I need some dinner.
Sounds so good.
What was the craziest or the most unique classes that you guys took while you were at college?
That's a good question.
I tried. So
actually pull it up
at Georgia Southern, we offered I think it was football in the South or SEC football or something like that.
Oh.
I tried my hardest to get in that course.
I'm sure it was
ended up in dude, like I think it filled up like the first minute, like the class window was open. And then the waiting list was like 40 or 50 people long. I was like, yeah.
Like trying to get season tickets to freaking Lambeau Field.
Yeah, dude. It was just like, of course, this is probably the first course that fills up in the entire course load throughout the entire university. If I had to guess. I don't know.
Go ahead, Greg. All
right. So the most unique class that I took, there was a couple that I thought were kind of unique. The first one might not be super unique, but it was a fun class and super easy. It was just like, I don't know if it was like intro to weightlifting or it was just called weightlifting.
Yeah,
But it was literally just lifting weights and just working out. So that was cool. I loved that one as a D3 athlete. And then the other one was coaching ice hockey.
Oh,
that's a course?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Where did you go to school again, Greg?
Plattsburgh University, SUNY Plattsburgh, State University of New York at Plattsburgh. So it's literally like 45 minutes from the border of Montreal.
Yeah.
So of course they would have an ice hockey coaching class.
Oh yeah. Did you have a lot of like Canadian students? Did they? I don't know how that.
Oh yeah. They literally would they would just basically import like 22 to 25-year-old Canadians to come into Plattsburgh and play on the hockey team. And they like dominated. Like I remember showing up, first party I ever went to on campus at the baseball house. We were having a mixer with the women's ice hockey team. And they were just coming off a national championship at the Division III level. And these girls got these fat ass rings on their finger and they're showing them off while we're playing beer pong. I'm just a little scared freshman with a back issue wearing a back brace. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting, man.
I remember I did a report on Roberto Luongo one time.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I have no idea. Probably an A because the freaking the men's hockey coach. I think it was the women's hockey coach coached it. I think his name was Kevin Hool, and he did not give any shit about that class.
Fair enough. I had a few like that. I'm not gonna throw any specific names out there.
I love Kevin Hool though. He was great dude.
Yeah. But all right, I thought about it and I was like, what was because I took like bowling and advanced pickleball, all the the activity electives I'm knocking out a business degree. I'm not exactly a rocket scientist, but I actually, speaking of rocket scientists, so I had to take one science course the whole time I was there. I had to take one required like gen ed basically science course, and I saved it for my senior year because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it at all. Like I just not a science guy. I don't vibe with it. So my senior year, the first time they offer this course, it's called Dinosaurs and Catastrophes. And I'm like, and it checked the requirements for gen ed science. So I'm like, yes.
And it checked all the boxes for a course that you wanted to take.
Right. And I was like, let's go. Like, this is going to be great. I'm going to learn about T-Rexes and Stegosauruses and the world blowing up. Like, we're going to go over Pompeii. Like, this is going to be right up my alley. It was the worst course I've ever taken. This guy, I won't say his name because he's still there. This guy was the most boring. We had 36 kids in the class when it first started. We ended with 10.
Oh my god! 10 you stuck it out,
huh?
You stuck it out.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to graduate.
Choice,
yeah, no, like everybody, and so my roommate, who was a senior too, literally had his graduation pushed back because he wanted to drop the course so bad.
That's dedication.
Yeah, like just not really for that specific reason, but no, it's terrible. And so we get to the final exam, and he's like, "All right, this is worth 250 points, like of 1,000." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm done." Like, and I pulled an all-nighter, 6:30 in the morning. I'm sitting there, and I memorized the entire exam, and I got, I don't know, I think I got 100 on it, or 250 out of 250, and I never looked back, man. Dude, it was awful. I'm talking, he had to scrap half the course because nobody was going to pass.
That's tough.
What was it? Dinosaurs and catastrophes?
Dude, we didn't learn about one dinosaur. We learned about dinosaur hip structure.
What? How does that work with catastrophes?
Oh, Dude, that wasn't even in the course.
What did you learn about? Oh, so you didn't, dude. Okay, when I think about this, I think about obviously the meteor, dinosaurs, and then catastrophes like Pompeii, things like that.
Yeah,
that's what I would think.
I was all in to learn about all that, and then what
did you learn about?
Dinosaur hip structure, dinosaur bone structure. Our first quiz was it was dinosaur hip structure, and then we had to label all the bones, and I think I made a 40, and I was like, I'm gonna have to drop this course and not graduate on time. I was like, my parents are going to kill me because I decided to wait and try to take the easy way out. It's like this is what they're always been talking about, taking the easy way out. Like I learned, but no, we made it out. We made it out with an A-. Just skated by.
You didn't realize you were taking dinosaur anatomy and physiology, did you?
This guy, man, and. He tried to do a project. When I say he scrapped half the course, he had to scrap a whole project because none of our computers could run the software, the dinosaur software.
Was it on like AutoCAD or something?
Maybe. I don't know. But we literally, one person's computer in the whole course worked. So we all did it on her computer.
What a catastrophe.
Yeah, literally, that was the catastrophe of the course.
It was a catastrophe.
Dang.
Oh, man. Yeah,
I mean, at that point, you just need to reevaluate the way that you're teaching this class.
You know what? I have it on good authority that he taught it again the next year. Or that would have been this past school year. So to all those of you out there at an unnamed school that I won't name, don't take that course.
Well, on that note, on the catastrophe and dinosaur note, make sure you follow us all over social media at Chatt It Up Sports, wherever you get your podcasts as well. Shout out to Barra's Cabinet Refinishing and Steel City Brand as well for being sponsors of this wonderful show. They are wonderful people. For Joseph Guthrie and Drew Rogers, I am Greg Larner. Join us again on Friday as we've got our second half of our Core 4 college football picks. Week number 1 this weekend. We love you. We'll see you on Friday. Peace and love.